coach in America at every other job in America stands up at the press conference and they try and moderate expectations. We don't do that here at Kentucky. When Mitch called me and talked to me about being the head coach here at Kentucky, I understand the assignment. We are here to win banners.
I'm Chris Adams, and before I get started on my video, can you please hit the like button, follow me on TikTok, and subscribe to me over on YouTube? I'm sorry, one more time. I gotta make sure.
Every coach in America at every other job in America stands up at the press conference and they try and moderate expectations. We don't do that here at Kentucky.
We didn't do that. Your fan base tries to every single day. Your fans.
When Mitch called me and talked to me about being the head coach here at Kentucky, I understand the assignment. We are here to win banners.
Woo! Man, all that shit sounded good on that day, didn't it? You people who are still on board with this clown right here, I ain't gonna call him clown. Mark, I do apologize for that. Mark Pope is such a great person. I've said this ad nauseum. Great father, great whatever. You mean tell you what he's not great at? You mean tell you what he's the opposite of great at is coaching basketball. Those of you who, did you all actually believe that a coach who had never won anything, making all these promises that all this was going to come true? And second of all, he understands that all this stuff you promise, you have to actually go out and do, right? This is comedy hour. And what's funny to me is so many of you wasted your beautiful Sunday afternoon.
We're here to win banners in Nashville.
I'm sorry. Let me let the man talk. I'm going to give my opinion on this. I have to one more time. I just want people to understand.
Every coach in America at every other job in America stands up at the press conference and they try and moderate expectations. We don't do that here at Kentucky.
No, let me tell you, we don't do. My generation does not do that here at Kentucky. My generation does not do that here at Kentucky. Now, there's a few in my generation that you are a little bit delusional. It was time for a change and all that stuff. No, but for the most part, the high percentage of my generation, we don't moderate expectations. We understand you win or you pack your bags at Kentucky, period. And there's going to be some of you idiots, well, Calipari his last 4 or 5 years. Okay, what do you do his first 10 years? That's what we need. You don't need so what you're saying is you're comparing your coach right here to the absolute worst years of my coach. That's what you're saying. So, I mean, they continue to do that. Look, where's all the good shit with Mark Pope? Give us some good and I'll deal with this. Huh?
They did take the worst of Cal's years.
The absolute worst years of John Calipari, these idiots try to compare this guy to that. Calipari's did far more with no talent, like at UMass and stuff, than this guy will ever do. Seriously. Everybody makes that comparison. Well, Cal did this, so you're telling me the worst years of a man who's coached 35 years. You're picking out the worst 3 or 4 and comparing it to what this guy's doing. Let me give y'all a little news flash. Anybody else does this at Kentucky. Anybody else who doesn't kiss as much ass as Mark Pope does, who didn't give a press conference like this, who didn't say weird words like we're discombobulated and talking about his players being tired and can't handle a Saturday to Tuesday sketch, just stupid stuff. Anybody else other than somebody who he played here and who was in there would be fired. Gone. Gone. He's been given there's a few of you that are still trying to give him a pass. Now, I want to say to about 80% of the fan base, I'm so proud of you all. And to the people, I'm not saying, there's a small group of us, people like me, who told you all from the very beginning. I told you all before you ever stepped foot in Lexington exactly what was going to happen. I told everybody exactly what was going to happen. Nobody listened. No reason nobody listened. Oh, Chris is arrogant. He's just, I might be. But when it comes to sports, you need to listen. People need to shut that mouth and open the ears. When it comes to sports, I promise you, when it comes to working on a vehicle, I'll ask questions. I'm not going to open my mouth. Building a house, operating on somebody, our president of the United States that people try to question him, trust me, he's got this. He don't need my input. When it comes to this, listen to me. Listen to me. I mean, and this was common sense. Common sense. A coach with no resume. No resume whatsoever. And so many of you signed up for it, but a lot of you that signed up for it, at least I've heard a lot of you come back and say, I was a Pope guy, but this is not going to cut it. This is not going to cut it. I'm going to tell y'all right now, you all know I love Calipari. Calipari's not coming back. People say, would you stop bringing up Calipari? I promise you, the people in the beginning who crucified me, you come back and give me your apology and show me that you're an adult, and you can say, you were right, I won't talk about Calipari anymore. Until then, I'm going to drive him right down your damn throat. With everything he does positive, I'm going to give you stats, I'm going to give you his resume, I'm going to make it so bad. So bad. The only thing you have to do is message me and say, you were right. All right, you're right. And a lot of you have. Those of you who have, what that shows is you have great character as a person. You have great character as a person. I usually don't talk about anything else other than sports. My wife knows this. When COVID started, it's the only thing that I've ever given my opinion for that wasn't sports related. That's because it was beyond common sense what was happening. It was beyond common sense. That's the one time in my life, and this never happens, I told people, common sense outranks any degree you have at this point. If you have a medical degree at that point, it was almost working against you if you didn't have common sense to go with it, if you didn't know how the world worked. But long story short, I told everybody COVID was the greatest overreaction in American history. Nobody listened. You had people telling me, the same people that told me it was the end of the world, you know, don't you? End of the world, and I'm never going to go anywhere or anything like that. Those same people are going back to, those same people showed up at this press conference for Mark Pope. The same people, the same people that said you don't need to go out and all this stuff and everything. I'm scared of all. The same people bought into and went to this press conference. An unnecessary press conference with 20-some thousand people all bunched in together to listen to this guy talk and tell lies and excuses and broken promises. I mean, life truly is about stay in your lane, use common sense. We have people in different areas. There's too many people who think they're a know-it-all. Most subjects I talk about, I end up being right on. You may tell you why? Because it's very limited that I will talk about. If I have a problem at work, if something is broken at work or messed up, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna call maintenance. We have guys who are in that field that do that type of stuff. That's what I'm gonna do. If I need my yard mowed, I'll probably half-ass it, not too good at it. I don't call a professional to do it. There's somebody who does that that's a lot better than me. And you all get the point. Could go on and on. Could go on and on. But there's so many people who think they know it all and they don't know shit. They don't. The Mark Pope situation is now the people who's still on board, this is all it is. This is all it is. I know a lot of people, I know they're not stupid. I know y'all are not stupid. Now it's totally about your pride. Now it's all about your pride. It's all about you not wanting to admit you were wrong, for running Calipari off, and you don't want to admit, well, Mark Pope's not it. You don't want to say it. The words don't want to come out of your mouth. I got a guy on Facebook that I love very much, and he usually tells me, why don't you just at me? He said, why don't you just at me instead of saying that? I'm not going to say his name out of respect. And I love him. So our daughters cheer together. I respect his opinion. During Calipari's last year, all he said was, we got to move on. Mark Stoops this year, there was no mention of any players that did anything wrong or anything like that. It was hammering Stoops every day, every day, every day, every day. We got to get rid of him every day. Mark Stoops, everything on him, every day. I was a Stoops guy. Let me show you how I am. I was a Stoops guy, but in the end, I want to say this guy was right. He wasn't right to do it like he did. I thought Mark Stoops had done great things here and deserved respect, but I'm a Will Stein guy. I'm very excited for football season. I can't wait. And as soon as this train wreck is over, we got a few more games of this train wreck. We're going to talk about our football team. But I'm now a Will Stein guy. That's me admitting to you, all right, you were right. To all those who wanted Stoops out and wanted a new coach, this is me telling you up front and center, you were right. I'm on board. Where's the flip side? I don't have to have it. It's whatever. I ain't going to lose no sleep over it. But I'm saying for you, an adult, your character, where's your admitting, Chris, you were right? There's been a lot of you do that, and I want to give you credit. Who is the one person in this fan base that told you from the very beginning exactly what was going to happen with Mark Pope? I told you all exactly what was going to happen. You cannot hire a coach who's never did anything and come here and expect him to compete. I don't even blame Mark Pope. He's not. He don't have what it takes to be in that position. He should have never been hired in the first place. You all think Mark Pope did a bad job coaching? This is who he is. This is who he is. This is who the man is. He's 20-some wins and double-digit losses. That's what he does every year. That's what he's did every year of his career, except for one non-COVID year. The man has coached 10 seasons, 10 full seasons, and only one of them has been a single-digit loss year. The other one was a shortened COVID season. So again, those of you who want to come back in, but Calipari in his last 4 years, don't give me.
They don't take up for Pope. They just say exactly what you're saying. Every time I say something, the first thing they do is bring up Cal.
That's their number one thing.
They can't show any accomplishments of Pope. They just dog Calipari.
No, I started saying they're well, Cal's last 4 years, okay. Where's Pope's good years? Cal's got 30 years of greatness. People say, well, 30 years of greatness. I'm not going to give you stats at this point. If you're that stupid, I'm not going to give you all the stats. Go look up John Calipari's career. The man has 900 wins. 900 wins, fifth all time. The fifth all time. If you say John Calipari sucks, that means you're saying that there's only 4 good coaches in the history of college basketball. Because there's only 4 better ahead of him on the wins list. The man has a national championship. He's been to 6 Final Fours. He's one of only 2 people in the history of planet Earth. Now, God's made a lot of men in the history of planet Earth. There's only 2 took 3 schools to Final Fours. John Calipari and Rick Pitino. And that's it. That's the end of the list. That's taken 3 schools to the Final Four. We had another guy here that's taken 2, and that was Eddie Sutton. Y'all crucify him. All of them with a much better resume than what we have now. And it's just, I shouldn't be up here saying this. I shouldn't be up here to preach to the choir. But people asked me today, and I'm going to close this video, why are you so hard on Pope? Why you don't like Pope? Well, I'm turning around. Will you explain to me why I should be on board with Pope? What's he did? You take away his first 7 games, you can add his first 7 games you want to. His record is a train wreck. But remember after that 7-0 start, by the way, I said this 2 days ago, after his 7-0 start, and now all these sites are posted again. Trust me, it'll be on KSR now. It'll be about the 8th time I've said something and they've put it. At least say we heard this from Chris Adams. You know what I'm saying? Because on here, when I say something, I usually say the great whoever, the great Matt Jones said this or something like that. A little bit in return would be all right, but it's whatever. But you're all right, baby. But let's see. But yeah, where's the greatness of Mark Pope? Where's the greatness? And stop saying, but Calipari's last 4 years, okay, that's why you wanted rid of Calipari, right? If you want to go that route, that's why you wanted Calipari gone. And Mark Pope's doing worse. Mark Pope is doing worse than what you all wanted Calipari out for. And again, I want to say this. I want to praise the Pope people. There's a lot that said you were right. I was on board with Pope, but this is not acceptable at Kentucky. And here's people, why do you say this about Pope? Because this is my program too. Why am I upset? Yeah, because this is my program too. You people have poisoned my program with your negativity. You people have poisoned our program. It's my program too. People like me, it's my program too. And I'll about bet that I went through a hell of a lot more than a lot of you all. I grew up poor. I've waited outside in the rain for tickets. I've sold tickets for the University of Kentucky. Scalp tickets for a couple of years. Helped the guy. I've stood out in rain. I've sat by myself. I've sat way up in the corner at Rupp. I went on the road. I've battled with opposing fans. I've went through hell for this university. The other day, I had a 25-year-old tell me that I wasn't a true fan, that I need to take this stuff off. And I told him, I said, I've been standing outside Memorial Coliseum to wait on Midnight Madness. He said, it's called Big Blue Madness. I said, that's where you're showing you're an idiot. Back when it was Midnight Madness. When you couldn't start till after midnight, the official rules, in the Memorial Coliseum that wasn't remodeled, it was old, smelly, hot, stunk, and all that stuff. And I got a guy who wasn't born yet going to tell me I'm not a true fan. It's this generation. It's the participation trophy generation that's saying Mark Pope, with his 24 losses, he's 36-24 since his first 7 games. That's okay at Kentucky. That's okay. For those of you who are 30 and under, let me tell you how smart you are when it comes to sports. The only championship that you know anything about, don't give me you might have been, there's a guy today, he was 2 years old when Tubby Smith won his national championship, and he told me, he said, well, I saw it. No, you ain't saw it. I was born in 81, and I don't remember the 84 Final Four where we were beaten by Georgetown, so I'm not putting that on my resume as far as watching. First Final Four I ever witnessed was 93, the year Michigan beat us. But if you're 30 or under, the only national championship and the only success that you have ever experienced as a Kentucky basketball fan is because of John Calipari. And what do you all do? You disrespect him and you praise a guy who's been a train wreck. That's how smart you people are. That is how intelligent you people are in the sports world. If you're 30 and under, and I'll go stretch as 35 and under, the only success that you know anything about when it comes to Kentucky basketball is the success that John Calipari provided for you. And not only do you not appreciate it, you trash him, you disrespect him, and you praise a guy who's never did anything. I got to close. 19-minute video, had to rant. In case you all don't know, a lot of you do, there's still a small percent. The Mark Pope, John Calipari debate, I won that by total knockout. Knockout. I knocked you completely out of the ring. First round TKO. It was no competition whatsoever. The reason I'm doing this video, when this train wreck is finally gone, don't question me on the next coach you hire. Listen to what I say. Listen to me. Sit there with your mouth shut and listen, and I'll tell you who we need to hire. Everybody have a great day. God bless and go Cats.